Do you want my picture?
No. Hello, this is how Feng of the Sirian triune star system. How may we be of service to you today?
Hi there. Thank you for coming. I have a few questions. But first, I wanted to thank you, of course, for coming in. And um,
We are
well,
glad to be of service to the earth at this time in any way that we can.
recently, I've been in front of a few things that perked my interest, and I was hoping maybe you can show some clarity. Um, I've been seeing a lot of chatter about time loops, shifts in time, hopping timelines. Is this a seamless process humans do as we change our minds about something, about what we believe in? Or is it something vibrational that happens outside of us as well in the universe as opposed to in us?
The way in which you create your sensory experience of space time is through the pulling together and releasing of various vibrations that make up your present moment. So while there are streams of consciousnesses moving down certain timelines, parallel realities are more like isolated vibrational potentials of the earth, of which you are grabbing, pulling into your experience, or detaching from and letting go of to create your experience of earth. When we think of it in a larger, overlaying thematic way, it ties into how we create belief structures to manifest our experience of being a subject within a universe. And these are overlying vibrational patterns that we set down within the upper layers of our unconscious mind, or we should say, you upon earth. And so the act of forming or reforming a belief is the act of detaching a certain vibration from this overlay pattern of your holographic matrix reality and changing it or bringing in a new pattern of energy that creates the overlay for your thematic experience. So while this process is happening all the time and cannot be stopped, one can become more conscious of it and more aware of how they are influencing it and start to choose to detach from parallel versions of Earth that do not represent what they would like to experience and thus attach to versions of Earth that do. And so at all times, you are this composite of many different vibrations that you are habitually holding on to perpetuate in your reality. And while there are streams that individuals create and that individuals together create to create consensus reality, parallel realities are not what you think. They are all the vibrational potentials of the earth laid out, much like taking a deck of cards and flipping each card over one by one to see all the faces at once. And so, from a higher perspective, you are simply choosing to take this card and this card and this card and pull them together into your reality. And when you're done with one card, you put it back and pull another card into your reality. And this is how you create the illusion of time, space, and themes and all sorts of narrative structures that allow you the diversity of experience that you have here on Earth and within the universe.
W- Does that include the waffling back and forth? Like, for example, I may decide on 4 cards for a scenario, but I can, and which means that I'm letting go of the other ones. But a moment later, I'll waffle back and grab those other cards.
You
Is that
will not
hmm?
go back to a theme that you do not prefer if you are truly done with it.
Okay?
When you are done with it, it will become obvious to you why you do not choose that, and
Mm-hmm.
you will not choose it anymore.
It'll be gone.
It will still be there. It will simply be obvious that you would not want to do that.
And clearly a choice, not a habit, not a not in the cycle.
A habit is still a choice.
Mm.
A choice to not make a choice is still a choice. Free will is never absent.
I never really thought of it that way. Today and the last couple of days, there seemed to be a lot of chatter in regards to the solar bursts and storms, solar storms lately. I was curious on how it's affecting the Earth, um, and all that is on the Earth. Do you have a sense of how other spaces within or outside of this universe being affected by this as well?
It is mostly relevant to focus on how the Earth experience is integral to what is currently happening in this galaxy, although everything is happening at once
Mm.
relative to the Earth experience transition is a change of themes within the galaxy. So the Earth represents a finishing of one of those cards within the galaxy, or several, and
Mhm.
a replacing of them to the deck.
Interesting.
And so, yes, this has an effect on everything, but everything has an effect on everything. And so, that scope beyond that to the effect that it has is beyond the comprehension of most people on Earth at this time. So, not exactly relevant.
Understand. Just felt like there's something else going on besides us being affected by it in a great way, I see. A little inconvenient with physicality of it, but I'm excited. Is it something we should be excited about?
We would like to note that ultimately everything works in both directions. The
Mm.
individual influences the whole, and the whole influences the individual equally. So the solar flares are something that would happen regardless of this larger shift on a larger scale happening synchronized with this shift. It would happen in response to the shifts in consciousness here. As the small incarnated selves say we are ready, an aspect of their larger being starts transmitting energy to help shift their consciousness into a state of readiness.
Mhm. That's good. I do have a question more personal. Um, I wondered if you can share with me one thing I can reflect on today and onwards until our next meeting.
We would like you to reflect on the absence of resonance, on what it feels like to move against your true nature.
The absence of
Resonance.
resonance, as if it doesn't matter, like it's not there.
Your inner resonance is the vibrational resonance between your core soul frequency and your life themes that tells you when you are moving along the correct path. And so we would like you to reflect on what it feels like to not be moving in resonance with who you truly are. Because this is how you uncover what resonance actually is, not by reaching for it, but by recognizing the feeling when it is not there. By understanding what it feels like along the entire spectrum, it makes the apparentness of that resonance very clear.
Okay, will do. Thank you. I don't have any more questions for today.
Thank you for connecting with us.
Thank you for having us.